You want me to give you the key on Saturday? Sure I will. So this happened when I was a teenager, around 18, 19, and I worked for this small bakery in my town. It's worth mentioning that I'm a woman. The owner was the worst man I've ever met. He had no business being around people, let alone managing employees. I was a key holder and the sole cashier of the store really early on. I was left alone to run the place and close it every day. He only gave us half-hour breaks for 10-hour shifts. He was racist and homophobic, and frequently made fun of his employees so his buddies could laugh at us when they visited. I can go on and on about this man, but the best summary I can give is that I saw 2 people quit in their first day while working for him. I told him I was leaving 3 weeks in and gave him a week's notice. He, of course, complained about how unprofessional I, the teenager, was being. I also specifically told him that I will not work the next Saturday. My last day would be Friday. Now I didn't want to work Saturday because that was sandwich day. The day the entire building stops making cookies and pies and makes sandwiches so they can be shipped off for other businesses to sell. It was always the most stressful day because there was too much work and too few people to do it. Also because the owner, instead of lounging at the front of the store, had to work with me. And he had no respect for personal space. How close he insisted on getting bordered on sexual harassment, and no matter how many times I brought up how uncomfortable I was, he ignored or interrupted me. So I wasn't going to work Saturday. Well, in my last week, I reminded him of this a few times, but he never seemed to get it. One day I asked him when I should give my key back, whether I should leave it in the store Friday night or some other time. He interrupted me and said I should give it back at the end of my shift on Saturday. He was convinced that my last day was going to be the dreaded sandwich day instead of Friday. I chose not to correct him, so I didn't. I locked up as usual on Friday, slept in the next morning, and wandered down to the bakery to give my key back. I walked in, and it was chaos. Customers were lined up. An employee who usually worked in the back was trying to man the cash register, and failing. And the owner had gotten off his ass for once and was rushing around making hundreds of sandwiches, red in the face and swearing under his breath. I waved at him, but he made a point to look away from me. I put my key on the counter and walked out. He actually had to sell the bakery a few months later, something about running out of people willing to work. I know I wasn't the catalyst to that particular development, but it's nice to know I helped.